Happy beautiful day, Pete Cohen here. Creating better habits. Over the next few moments, I'm going to show you how you can create the habits of success. Are you ready? Who was it that said, excellence is not an act? Excellence is a habit. We are what we repeatedly do. You know who said that? Aristotle said that 2,500 years ago. Who was Aristotle? Well, he was a Greek philosopher, and he's inspired so many people even to this day, to look at habits differently, because your success is really determined by your habits. And this is an area I'm very passionate about. This is a book I wrote in 2003. Can you believe that? That's a long time ago. And I really want to empower you right here, right now. So the first thing we want to look at are, what are habits and why do we have them? Well, we need habits. This probably won't come as any surprise to you. But we have habits so that we can forget them. What? That doesn't make any sense. Look, think of it like this. We have different parts of our brain, and you might have heard of what is known as the conscious and the unconscious part of our brain. We learn habits so that we can forget them, so that we can do the things without thinking about them. So just imagine all the things that you take for granted, like walking, talking, driving. Imagine if every single day you had forgotten how to do them. You hadn't installed the habits that allowed those things to happen automatically. We know that people don't really change when we tell them what to do. The magic really happens is when people start to look at things differently. And it's absolutely imperative that you stop looking at your habits as good or bad, or right or wrong. You just do what you've always done. And one of the things that I say so often is, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. We are what we repeatedly do. So you do what you do because there's a part of your brain that thinks that's what you are supposed to do. And what's really interesting when we look at why we have habits, well, we have them to survive. There's many, many habits that we have that are just there because we can survive, so that we can learn something else. And that's part of how we were made as human beings, that you would learn things so that you could forget them, do those things automatically, and then learn something else. And here is my big question to you. What do you want to learn to do? And it's much easier to answer that question when you start to think about what it is that you want to achieve. And the My 365 program that we have, our whole YouTube experience, all of the videos that we put out are there to help people live life by design. What is it that you want to create with your health, with your energy, with your relationships, with your wealth and your work? Because success always leaves clues. And when you look at people who have achieved anything in their life, it's the habits that they have, the habits that they install. And whether you like it or not, and hopefully you like it, you can install the habits of success. And that's what we're here to do. So the next thing we want to talk about is helping you to look at your habits, not as good or bad or right or wrong. Just look at them as whether they're helping you or hindering you, right? And for many people, they do what they do because that's what they know. And Dr. Phil, you might have heard of Dr. Phil. He's a very famous doctor of psychology, and he does many, many shows where he talks about some of the things I'm talking to you about right now. But there's a very popular thing that I've heard him say many, many times. People do what they do until they know better. And sometimes when they know better, they do better. And this is really key for you to back off from your habits for a moment and think, well, I do what I do because that's what I think I'm supposed to do. And maybe when I first started behaving in that particular way, that was the best way for me to behave at that time. So many people have issues with food, but many years ago they used food as a way of comforting them, or they used food as a way of dealing with something that was difficult. We're only really trying to help ourselves, but most of us are helping ourselves in a way that right now is not helping us. It's hindering us. So the next thing they want to talk about here is installing the habits of success. And this is the big question I want to ask you right here. How do you install anything? Well, you've got to know the outcome of the thing that you're trying to install, and you've got to know, as far as habits are concerned, in fact, let me put it to you like this. I will give you $5 million or pounds in cash right now, okay? Or I'll give you 1p a day every day, and I'll double it every day for a month. Which one do you want? You've got 5 seconds to make up your mind. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Which one? Hopefully you said 30 days. Well, 31 days, actually a month, because 28 days wouldn't be good. You want 31 days because doubling that every single day would lead to close to 11 million. Even though for the first couple of weeks you wouldn't get very much for the return on your investment, but the real return comes, well, the magic comes from doing something from an extended period of time. And that is how we install the habits of success. And as you see, that is a duck. Now, why is that duck there? Well, when you install anything, you will probably have some form of resistance. Some part of you, which we call a duck, and we've done many videos on this about the resistance that we have, the challenges that we have when we want to achieve anything, that voice in your head that wants you to hold on to the habit that you've had, because that's how you've survived. And we have to wake up to the fact that we're going to have resistance. We're going to have that challenge. And this is so important. If this is the only thing that you take away from this video, and it's not written down on here, and it's this: whenever you do something that you don't normally do, it can be unbearable. So unbearable. There's a part of you that says, this is so uncomfortable. I don't want to do this. But if you keep going, it becomes uncomfortable. You know what comes next? You can become unstoppable. This is the greatest things about human beings, is that we can learn things, we can grow, we can develop, we can evolve. But again, we've done some videos on this, that if you want to install the habits of success, most people are driven by what they feel. If you don't feel like doing something, your actions will be related to how you feel, which will often mean you won't do anything or do something half-heartedly, and your identity is carved out by being driven by your feelings. We, My365, and all the work that we do with coaching people is about helping you identify what you want, what are the actions that need to be in place, and what are the feelings that will come as a result of what you do. Look, and finally, let's look at this, the new dawn of the new you, right? How many of you think right now we're living in a time where the old ways of moving through the world, for many of us, we need to change our ways. We want to reinvent, we want to rethink, we want to reposition who we are and how we move through the world. You can do that, but it's identifying with a future version of you. That looks like some sort of half man, half bird. This is supposed to be like a superhero with wings. And again, we've made videos about this where we really are encouraging you to think about who you want to be. If you were better with your health and your energy, with your wealth and your work, what would that look like? And what are the habits that would need to be in place in order for that to happen? Look, we've put something together, and you can see it in the description in this video. We've put together a brand new 30-day kickstart program. It's probably the best program I've ever put together. It's absolutely free. And the program is really designed to help you identify with where you want to go and start stepping in the right direction over time to get to where it is that you want to go. Look, and lastly, this definitely takes, I believe, some of the most important qualities of any human being. And it's being wise enough to realize, like, I want to play this game slightly differently. Being courageous to step into a new way of moving through the world. Mastery of looking actually to start getting better at something even when you don't feel like it. To love the process and to actually be curious about what you're capable of becoming. We believe that a great life, it doesn't happen by chance. It happens by design. You have the opportunity to design that life. Your future is unwritten. You have the power to change. I'd love to know what your biggest takeaway is from what I've just shared with you here. This word telos, it means we are goal-orientated. It's a Greek word. Everything we do is for a goal. Is it now not the time to start being courageous enough to set some goals and go out there and make it happen? Go and check out the My365 30-day program, absolutely free. Let me coach you for 30 days and let's do something truly awesome. Thank you for watching. I can't wait to see you next time for the next YouTube video. Bye-bye.